Hello, hello, and welcome back to this land, aka your grave from before. Uh, yeah, I didn't want to separate these two halves out, but I was forced to, so whatever, we'll deal. Right. So, current situation. One yak dead, gnomes dead, none, which is good. We desperately need to upgrade the value of our town hall so that we can get more gnomes in town, so that we can get a better military presence. We need better weaponry for those in the military. Let's see, we've got the hunter guys, which are the real squad in question here, and they are armed with dual sword plate soldier uniform, apparently, which would be dual sword plate soldiers rock the frenzy and use plate mail, where plate mail is defined as being any combination of armors I happen to have created it already, which is pretty reasonable. Do I have an armor yet? Do I have an armor up and running? If not, that's something I would like to get going ASAP. I would have put it over here. Orange gems, furnace. The armor is still building in progress, requiring an anvil and a ball peen hammer, which probably can be made at a smithy. That's a smelter, not a smithy. Nope, ball peen hammer can be made here. Requires, what does it require? Oh, never mind. This is a smelter, so you have to smelt a ball peen hammer out of what exactly? Okay, I'm confused how a smelter works. My understanding was that you give it stuff and it produces raw materials out of it. And that seems to be the case here. Yeah, that seems to be the case. So, never mind. We'll leave that be for the moment. We need a blacksmith more than we need a smelter by far. And I don't think I have a smithy on this floor. Here we go. Task. Build a blacksmith. Needs an anvil. Okay, and to make an anvil I can probably use not the furnace naturally. Probably the metal worker can make an anvil. Let's see if that's true. Stone, no, it would have to be a metal work. This is again the stone. Stone carver, nope. Where the heck am I gonna get an anvil out of? I must have had one by now, otherwise I wouldn't be able to make the root of these things. Smelter isn't the answer. Furnace isn't the answer. Alright, well, let's go ahead and take a look at the task and see what the task tells me. Anvil. Could have sworn that if you hover the mouse over the task, it would tell you what it takes to build it. Alright, well... without being able to make anvils... How did I make a smelter if I didn't have an anvil? I'm pretty sure that requires an anvil. Workshop. Metal workers. Smelter. Nope, it does not. Okay. Okay, so it's possible to make some things without it. Typically the first thing in the line is all you need, so let's presume that logs to coal, raw metal into bars. I need a forge. That's what I need. That way I can forge bars, which I can then use to make stuff. So please, by all means, if I haven't already built a forge, now would be the time, and that would be the problem I've been having. Yep, and I have the mold, hearth, and bellows ready to go for it, so it's not like I haven't thought of this before. Alright, go. Reactivating the game. The furnace is going to be up soon enough, and as soon as that's up, metalwork should be able to proceed apace. Meanwhile, what else is going on? This loom is on standing orders to make cloth and bandages, and we should have a clothier somewhere in the population. Right? Yep, so that will be taken care of in due time. Anybody idle? Because idle people make me want to kill them. Nope, crafting, sleeping, and foraging. Good. It's very important that we keep on with the harvest, because this next season, there's a very good chance that I'm going to need to sell a bunch of raw goods to buy a new yak to replace the yak that died. And I don't think I'm going to be able to get jewel crafting up anytime soon. Certainly not soon enough to use that to replace the losses. I'm going to extend the range of the grove even further. This is my grove, right? So we'll just yoink. Oh, never mind. This is the hill, so that's why it's not extended. Fair enough. In which case, what are the standing orders for the orange grove? Plant, cut, clip, do everything, basically. Excellent. Well, you farmers know what you're doing then. Continue their various harvests. I'm not going to extend the strawberry farm given how impressive my orange farm is. This cloth farm is already maxing itself. Well, actually, we don't need to extend it. It's already extended, isn't it? Seeds planted 54. We have hundreds of unplanted cotton seeds that need to be planted in this field. And this land isn't tilled yet. Oh well, a lot to do. A lot to do. Meanwhile, what are you up to, the carpenter? Oh, right. Standing orders for tables, sawmill. I want to increase the requisite number of stable planks to 64. We should have enough boxes to hold that. If we don't, we can build one. I like to be able to handle significant shifts. Sudden shifts. Alright, what are y'all professionals doing now? Everybody's still working. Good. Clothier especially should be busy. Yep. And are we out of bandages or are we good for bandages? 17. Great. I see that my dual sword wielders are in fact wielding dual swords, which is good. Miners are turning blocks out, and this should have just gone up. Now that we have a forge, we can actually make bars, and that is going to turn this whole thing into overtime. I don't think we yet have tin bars, so we're not going to be capable of creating better ores, which is fine, because we have enough copper to be getting on with for the time being. What's not fine is that it stay that way, so let's immediately begin deeper excavation. Now again, depth -7 is where the lack of light can spawn evil monsters, so I'm not going to super worry about getting everything torched up quite yet, because that's a very arduous process. I'll wait until I have more spare time for that. Just setting up massive dig orders on the entire floor, and hoping that I find a vein of ore of some kind. This is going to delay the miners for quite a while, but the forge should still be able to run, in my estimation. Do I have anybody else who can run a forge? Hang on. Yes, I do. That's why I went green. This guy is still doing his work, and ore and gems, of course, is set up, so that should be good. Where is he storing his bars, incidentally? Ore and gems can clearly be used to hold the bars. I don't mind that. Metal, you can use the bar. You can put bars here too. That's fine. I mean, it's a big enough dump, and I can just add more crates to extend the space even further if I so desire. Okay, outside world. I hope to God we don't suffer a goblin attack again, but it's quite likely we will in a couple days. In any event, the market is just about ready to handle its yak increase, and I cannot wait. Also, I'm kinda upset with how dark it gets out here, so I'm gonna, for pure vanity's sake, throw up a couple torches. At this point, the game is, I admit, less amenable to my typical walkthrough style. We've gotten things up and running to the point that food production is fairly well automated. Well, that sucks. Apparently the goblin is allowed to attack my yak without ever being announced, even though he was right in the middle of my colony. This is an issue I have with the game, that enemies are only announced when they're within sight range of a gnome, as opposed to if they're within sight range of your furniture or your property or your things. It encourages players to build giant walls around everything, which frankly is a bit cheap in its own way. Now that both my yaks are dead, I'm out almost 1,000 value for my colony, and I'm going to be in desperately tight straits for a while. Of course I have no choice but to attack this goblin, so go out and get my military. Declare all squads to attack. We have this set up from last time, so it should be just fine. He's right there. He's getting his ass kicked in the field. As is his buddy. Both the goblins are down. And that sucks. Unfortunately, yeah, we did lose our yak. Our other yak. If I seem like I'm taking it very well, it's because in the grand scheme of things, I'm not out a ton. Ultimately, I would like to raise a yak herd, but defending this yak against random goblin attacks with no army is just going to be impossible. So I'm deciding whether or not to invest heavily in yaks right now, or if I should opt for the defensive strategy first. And I think I will show you guys the defensive strategy so that you are aware of it. So clearly, these goblins are allowed to not cheat exactly, but yes, basically cheat my yaks out of life, right? I intend to rectify that situation. We are going to build a giant fence around the yaks. Problem I have with this is there's nothing that stops you from building a giant fence around everything you own, and in this manner never having to fight a goblin, but whatever. We're just gonna build a giant fence. This is gonna require a metric fuck ton of planks. I'm okay with that, because metric tons are not that much. Wait a minute, they're more than the actual ton? Oh god help us all! Let's make sure to designate a large area for the... I'm actually going to end up terraforming probably and undoing and redoing some of this as my yak herd grows, but that's so far away from now that I'm not even worrying about it. Just going to rotate the field so I get a good view of how this is stacking up vis-a-vis the hill. And let's go ahead and designate terrain, dig, remove ramp. Here. Just remove that ramp. It's obstructing where I want the fence to be. I'll continue building my wall. Now each square that I'm placing this down costs 2 planks, which is a lot. And it does add up. But, you know, I'm sick and tired of my yaks dying to random goblin attacks, and if the cheap way is the way that's going to keep them alive, so be it. Righto! And I'm not going to bother buying yaks until I know I can keep them safe now. It's unfortunate. I kind of... In previous playthroughs, I have managed to get a military up fast enough that I was able to defend yak attacks. But if goblins are going to attack without giving my military a chance to respond, and the first notification I have is, oh, by the way, your yak is dead now. Yeah, that's just not... That's not conducive to entertaining play for me. Looking deeper, the dig out is proceeding apace. Unfortunately, we have still not found any useful minerals in this area, but that's fine. Hopefully our armorer is up and running. Nope, just the forge. The armorer is still in the queue. The blacksmith is also in the queue. The forge is able to make bars, but it is not able to make anvils. Where is this done? Needs bar at forge for build job at build blacksmith. Oh, okay, it is able to make anvils directly. Excellent. So, I'm just going to upgrade the priority of this for the moment, because I do want this to get taken care of sooner rather than later. Please tell me you found your way up. Okay. Checking the population to see if all are alive and well. There's a idle miner, which I would like to find. Oh, he's just getting food, so that's why he's idle. Righto! What else needs to be done? Probably gonna need to collect more wood to replace the tons and tons of planks I've gotten rid of. Nope, not to worry. They've all been registered as required build orders. So why is nobody actually doing these build orders? Okay, what are my tree beards doing? Woodcutters are clipping trees. Hey, idiots. Why are you clipping trees when there's clearly bigger work to be done? Your grove is not that high priority right now. Get on with it. Actually, that is an interesting moral question, and I think that it's valid. I'm going to leave the orange grove at standard priority, and I'm going to say I would rather that if the sawmill has work that needs to be done, it is prioritized. So as a rule of thumb, please prioritize that workshop over your day job. Same goes for this workshop. Otherwise you are, yeah, stopping too many people from getting their work done. Yeah, at this point when the merchant comes to town, it's gonna be questionable how wise it would be to invest in more yaks. Unless I can afford it. I mean, that would make everything worth it. In fact, to that end, we should probably be crafting good trade goods. So, I'll go with my stonemason and crank out a couple more swords. You never know, we might make some decent quality ones by accident. And, yeah, that should do. And yo, carpenter man, if you're able to make a nice wooden shield or two, that'd be great. So really, the craftsmen have all the work in the world to do right now. And these guys continue to clip trees. Probably because in their professional list, that's considered higher priority. So what I'm going to do is change my mind on the way I've set this up and just temporarily suspend the grove. It's probably the fastest way to make them do what I need them to. Temporarily suspend the grove. That will funnel them to the workstations. Meanwhile, we will make sure to reset the priority on the workstations so that I don't end up getting confused why wood is suddenly more valuable than everything else. And with any luck, the building job will get taken care of shortly thereafter. What are you doing here? Oh, they're standing orders for planks when planks are low enough to still be done at the crude workbenches. That's actually really clever. I can't believe I forgot that I had that. Let's go ahead and make sure that that's something that's persistent between all of these. Or at least a couple of these. And there we go. The clothier is now drawing in extra cotton to make her loads of loom work complete, which is good. What are we up to now in my stockpile here? Oh, the stockpile is emptied of cotton. Brilliant. And this should be the loom stockpile. Where are you putting all this cloth of yours, girl? Oh, right on the ground next to it? That doesn't seem quite kosher. She hasn't made that many more bandages. I don't know. We'll see what she has in mind. How's the armory coming along? Forge, smelter, build blacksmith. We have the anvil. All we need is a hearth and a bellows. I'm sure we'll be on that shortly. Okay, somebody had better be working on something. There's like 80 plank jobs and you're not working on any of them? Did I leave the priority up? No? Whatever. I guess everyone must be asleep. Or working the kitchens. That works too. There we go. Got a few more gnomes doing their thing now. Wheelbarrowing all the logs up. The merchant has arrived. So when a merchant arrives, this is what happens. It takes its time to try to go from wherever it arrived from all the way over to your city. I actually don't see where it is. There we go. He came around the long way. No, that's one of my workers. Where the hell is the merchant? Oh, please don't tell me he died to a bear. That would just be embarrassing. exploring the map, trying to find... There he is. The merchant, in fact, appears to be stuck. This has never happened to me before, where a merchant spawned in a way that he couldn't actually reach my colony. I'm tempted to go out there and rescue him, actually. I guess that would be terrain, dig, ramp down here. No, one floor higher than that. Here. Doubt that any of my miners will actually get to him before the merchant gives up and leaves, but you never know. Maybe they will. Just leave that standing order out there for a miner to take care of at some point. Let's see how the actual mining, the excavation orders are going. Oh, hooray! We found precious sapphires, and just an inordinate amount of coal. His mining skill has gotten so good that he's just driving his way through that, which is great. Meanwhile, I'm okay with the merchant not coming into town. It would have been one thing if, you know, I was planning to rebuild the yak supply, but at this point, I'm not going to get the yak supply going, so whatever. We'll worry about that later. And if anything, it will be interesting for you guys to see that you can survive winter without yaks. Though I am kind of nervous about my stockpiles of food. I'm going to need to massively increase the amount of food I'm getting if I'm going to make this through winter without any yak milk and cheese and such. Where the hell... Alright, well, we'll follow the bear. I would rather not get into a fight with him if he doesn't want to get into a fight with me, and he doesn't, but... Okay, good. He went off somewhere. Bears are incredibly powerful creatures. They will kill you. So, you know, don't fight them if you don't have to. The orders on the fence are still draining all my planks, but no harm, no foul. We are going to unsuspend the order to work the grove. As much as I would like to get this fence completed, I recognize that I'm being a little bit narrow-minded in so ordering. Also, the wheat harvest is coming up, so my farmers need to get back to work. We'll leave the fence for a future project. What are you crafting? Oh, he's just getting raw blocks ready for the stonemason's mass stone sword order. That's fair. Meanwhile, down here, yes, our blacksmith is finally up, which we can then use to complete the armorer, which we still need to get stuffed for, but it looks like we're at least working on it now. Just more bars needed. Incidentally, Orange Gems is full, so what is the limiting factor here? Coal? Nope, we've got ore and coal. So this forge should really be working around the clock. At this point, I would just put a craft order in to make sure that we have 8 bars handy. Probably need to reassign one of my people back to mining. One of the gnomes that died. Okay, you know what? How many Orange Grove clippings do you have on this map? Because if it's more than 100, I swear to God we're wasting time getting even more right now. Goods. Plants. Clippings. Nope, it's not over 100. So it's not enough to replace the whole grove, so we can afford to make more clippings right now. So, fair enough, keep going, maintain your orchard as you are. Also, doing so is dropping oranges onto the ground, which is a good thing. Gives me more oranges for the future. What? Oh, the merchant gnome is probably gonna die on account of being so far out of the colony that there's nothing to be done for her. And I'm not about to go on a huge rescue effort for a gnome that was dumb enough to enter on a place that was impossible to get out of. If it wants to die, it'll die. And hopefully other gnomes will be smart enough not to enter from the same spot. My god. Alright, the butcher shop is now so full that it's gone red. This is an important sign for y'all to recognize. See how the floor is red? The reason is because it is full of stuff to the point that nothing else actually fits there. To fix that, you need to designate storage areas that will hold said stuffs. If there's a standing order to make meat, then if there's no, there isn't. So I need to make that a standing order. If I have raw meat, I want to make sandwiches out of it, which of course requires you to make sausages first. Craft to 30, I suppose. Yeah, 30 sandwiches should be fine. And of course, the larder should be set to accept such food. I have no doubt that it is, but yep, it accepts meat even, so technically all this meat could be stored in the larder, as long as the larder isn't out of the room, which I don't think it is. 203, and I'm seeing empty squares, so it's clearly not out of room. Alright, well, that's what's keeping up the butchery, so we can worry about that in the near future. Once I have the armorer up, I will need a leather worker to start making that leather padding and strips, so that the armorer can do its work. Blacksmith, armorer... I feel like I'm just missing a couple gnomes, but really what it is I only have 1 or 2 gnomes for each job, so the other ones, you know, get busy with other tasks. More gnomes in general would be helpful, though I would need to feed them. And still the building of the grand fence around the empty yak pen is the center of our efforts. A little bit foolhardy, actually. I'm going to go ahead and cancel the remainder of that task. When I wish to reinstitute yaks into my colony, I can complete the fence properly. Till then, let's free up some labor hands for the remainder of the farm work. Alright, well that's about the extent of my time for the moment, unfortunately, so I'm going to have to call it here. But, thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next time!